And what's the website you want to promote?
The website, there's two of them, docofdetox.com and braveheartnation.com. BraveHeart Nation is actually our university where we teach all our courses and trainings and certifications.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right.
Momentarily.
Everybody, we're going to be coming on here in a second with Hugh from that channel. One of the most amazing people on the planet. You'll find out why. He's got beautiful light, beautiful vibration, beautiful frequency.
Hey, we're on. This is the show. Dr. Daryl Wolf is here. It's me, Hugh. It's the 600 Club coming at you live from Toronto, and Dr. David Wolf is here. Great to see you. Daryl, fantastic. You look good on camera. It's amazing, and we got a full hour coming up, and you said it. It's going to be a mind-blowing show, so.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if I should change it and have... No, I guess it's good.
Well, we can... We're going to take a commercial break.
Yeah, we might change these cameras for everybody else on my platforms. But guys, you'll have to look at me, but later you'll be able to look at Hugh, and he's easier to look at.
Oh,
so.
You know what we can do? I just thought of something.
What?
Because if you point one of those at the screen, then you'll see both you and me as I switch the cameras.
Yeah, but then the other one doesn't get it.
Well, how many streams you got going on here? See.
Well, two main ones.
Okay, well, we could do a commercial break and then we could figure all that out.
Yeah, why don't we do a commercial break and we'll figure... Well, then I'll have to hang up on all these people.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, they can watch us mess
do a commercial. Okay, we're going to mess around and
like that.
We're going to take a commercial break. Take a commercial break.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, so this is the show, folks. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes here with Dr. Daryl Wolf, and this is going to be some mind-blowing health information and other stuff, too. So stay tuned. A couple minutes after this, we'll be right back.
All right. Okay. So how are we going to do this? We could put, if it's loud enough, we could put them right up here. Let's put them right up in front of the screen then.
Well, here's what I'm seeing. Okay, so whatever you see on that screen is the switched. So it'll be close up of you when it's on you, close up of me when it's on me. The audio stream, you got to pick it up from the speakers. So your speakers are your audio source.
Yeah, they'll pick it up.
Okay.
These are good phones.
So you know what I mean? But you could just aim it right at that screen and then you'll get the switch.
Okay, well, let's see what we got. Okay. It's quite a ways, see? It's not that big.
Right. Unless you put it right up to the screen.
No, why don't we just do that?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, we'll put it right up to the screen. We'll try not to jerk you guys around, okay? I don't know how to switch this one. We can just switch it when we get up there, okay? All right. Look away, people, if you get dizzy, because I don't want to jerk on you, okay? Because I'll be playing with this for a little bit. Let me just turn that around. Okay, we're pretty good. This one's pretty good already. Okay, I think that's good.
Beautiful.
Okay. Can't hear, it says muffled. I don't know why it would be muffled.
The only reason could be it's not close enough to the speaker or your mic is covered somehow.
No, my mic's not covered. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oldest Mayan site in the world. It's popular because it holds
All right.
the largest mass ever found in Indo-Maya. And only a small portion, which is 6 out of 739 structures.
It'll be louder when it comes out of the speakers, right?
Everything else is covered up.
Yeah, well, it is coming out of the speakers, but you're not at the moment. Just the...
Okay, are we ready? Shall we do it?
Might be, not yet.
I don't know if this was our best idea, but we'll do it. Okay.
You know, I'll give you the video after so you can.
Yeah, we'll put the video up later. Okay. All right. Hey.
All right. Okay. Hey, we're back. It's the show. This
Testing.
is me, Hugh, and Dr. Daryl is here, and he's live streaming as well. And it's great to see you, Doctor. You know, I was surprised, very pleasantly surprised, to hear from you yesterday. So
I love your new studio. I do. I think it's cool.
well, thanks. Well, it is very nice, and it's just not downtown like the old studio, but it is nice. Thank you for that. And so we only got an hour. I know we're gonna by the end of it we're gonna be saying where did the time go, and we still have so much more to say. So where should we start?
Well, you asked me where I'm located now.
That's right. I didn't know you wanted to talk about it on the air, but yeah, I'd love to.
Oh, I'll talk about anything. I you know what? That's the thing, eh? You know, be proud of yourself.
Right.
Be proud of yourself enough that you're never scared to talk about yourself. You know, and then be proud of yourself enough and love yourself enough that never answer any questions that you don't want to answer. That there's no authority over you either.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and that's the big deal right now. Okay, you know, everybody thinks that if somebody has gotten the government seal, the government approval, and somebody asks you a question, you've got to answer them. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to answer anyone. You don't have to answer anyone. No one stands above you.
Right.
And you better get that, because this party ain't over. Okay,
No,
all right.
Yeah.
This party's going to get started again in the fall, and they're going to come at us even harder. But we got to be smarter to the point that we ignore them. We ignore them, and they are the them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you know or are familiar with Cal Washington. He's from British Columbia.
No.
And he's all about all that kind of stuff. You know, that nobody's got authority over us.
This is not about going to war. This is not about fight. This is about unconditionally loving yourself and knowing that, you know what, this planet is our God-given right.
Yeah.
That, you know, nobody's going to tell us what to do and when to do it. Okay? We will not be governed. Okay? We will govern ourselves. But you can't govern yourself until you know what living in the present moment is. You can't govern yourself if you don't understand the subconscious mind. There is called law of the mind. And that is that if you have never been trained on how to brainwash yourself, then somebody else is doing it.
See, this is going great already.
But you notice how I avoided it, and you still don't know where I live.
Well, that's true.
You see, that's what it's all about. So when somebody asks you a question, just get really excited about something else and distract them.
Oh, that's
because that's what they try to do to us, but they don't try to excite us. They try to create anxiety to distract us from living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I've noticed is lately, like just the last couple of weeks, I see more and more people wearing masks again. And I don't know where this is coming from because I'm not paying attention to mainstream media, but I don't know what, but you know, when you say it's going to start up again in the fall.
Oh, it's coming, baby. And you know why it's coming? Because the herd will always be the herd. Mm-hmm. The herd, the majority is the herd, and the majority have always been wrong. Through history. And I'm not picking on them. Mm-hmm. But the reality is this. If you believe that loving and caring for yourself is a sin or selfish, well, then guess what? Then you're off to the butcher. Okay? And the reality is it's only one thing that we need to understand, and that is the subconscious. The subconscious, my subconscious rules me all day long. But it does not school me all day long. It doesn't screw me over all day long. Mm-hmm. The majority of the population are being screwed over all day long, and they think that that's normal. Remember something, majority rules, even if they're wrong. And the majority have always been wrong, Hugh. Okay, tell me when the majority has been wrong, Hugh, in history. I need you to really think about this.
I don't know. can't think of an instance, but it reminds me that this is why the idea of a republic, which is it's based on law. The law comes first. The law is there to protect the people from the government and from criminals.
Oh, wait, whoa. There's no bigger criminal than government. So don't, and the reality is that the people that you just called criminals, they were made into criminals because their belief systems were warped day one. And understand something, you can't go to school without being schooled. Okay, you know, the Rothschilds, they did the study that proved that if you send a child to school for 12 years, they will be a great little robot for you and work their butt off, save their money. By the time they're 50, they don't know how to feed themselves, don't know how to love themselves, less another person. So by the time they're 50, they're so sick, they'll spend all their money and just give it all back anyways.
And that just reminds us, there was a time before we had public education. And before kids had to go to school every day.
There's no such thing as public education. Nobody's being educated.
Yeah,
okay, they are being indoctrinated. It's called public indoctrination. It's not education. Education is something that makes you feel proud about yourself, proud about your world. And it empowers you to love yourself, to shine that light on your family and your friends.
Absolutely, and now we see what's going on with public education. We see, first of all, you know, things like math scores and civics education have just kind of fallen off the curriculum. And now they got, not that there's anything wrong with this, but they got drag queens reading stories to little kids.
Oh, but remember something, majority rules. And the majority are unconscious about their subconscious, and they actually think that their personality was God-given or it was in their genetics, and there's nothing in the genetics. It's all epigenetic. Disease is epigenetic, the way you look is epigenetic, the way you talk, the way you eat, the way you treat yourself, the way you treat another human being, it's epigenetic, it's subconscious. The disease you die from, the disease that you cannot heal is all created by your subconscious. You know, you look like you look, you dress like you dress, you, because of the belief systems that are in your subconscious. No other reason, no other reason. I dress like I dress, I act like I act, because of the belief systems that I have. And these belief systems have nothing to do with the majority of the population, have nothing to do with public education. Because nobody hardly talks like I do. And the reality is this is my world, this is my life, this is my body. I will make all my own decisions, and no one's going to tell me what to do. And I mean that. And I say it on your channel, I say it on my channel. Just so you know, you see how red I look? I took a little bit more IGF-1 than I should have.
What's IGF-1?
Well, okay, that's this right here. I know I'm off topic, but this is called IGF-1.
Okay.
And I took a swig instead of using the eyedropper because we were in a hurry.
What is it? Just curious.
Okay, so remember when you could go out and party? And you could go out and party, like party down. Like, you know, you remember when you used to really party down? You'd get up the next day, you'd have a hangover, feel a little sluggish, but by 3 o'clock you were thinking about that party that night again?
Yes.
Well, guess what? That's only because your liver made IGF-1 from the human growth hormone that you had. You had tons of it.
Right.
Now, what if we were to come up with a product that was exactly the same as you used to make when you're in your 20s and early 30s, and it's not a drug, it's exactly the same, it's all natural, and it actually creates the energy and the vitality and the vigor and the muscle tone and the clarity in your brain, and you felt like you did when you're in your 20s, early 30s.
I'd take some of that.
Well, that's what this is, IGF-1 300,000. And it's not a sales pitch. We're the only ones who make it like this.
So what does it do? Give you more human growth hormone in your body?
No, human growth hormone gets turned into IGF-1 by your liver.
Oh, okay.
And that's your natural fountain of youth.
Well, we need some of that.
Yeah, yeah. Except next time I won't swig the bottle.
Okay, that's fantastic. So that's just one of the things, and we're going to put a link on here later where people can go and they can get that and they can get all the other stuff.
They'll have to go get the product. We're not here about product.
I know.
You know what? You know what we're here about? We're here about the most amazing product in the world, and that is your spirit. And that spirit is infused into physical matter. And, if we could feed our spirit, we could heal from everything. There is no such thing as an incurable disease. There's only an incurable disease to the medical system because they need to make money. The reality is the greatest cure in the world is understanding your subconscious, and that you can reprogram it. Every dis-ease in the world is dis-ease, means you're out of ease. You are not in harmony with your frequency, your God-given frequency. You're not in harmony with it. And the reality is we turn on disease with frequency. We can turn it off with frequency. And that's why we don't hang around with negative people. So that's why Lori and I don't hang around with a lot of people, because we want to protect our frequency and our vibration. God love everyone, and I mean that. Everyone. Everyone. But the reality is you've got to protect your frequency and your vibration. Think about the people in your family that you go to visit, and you only visit them because they're family, and if they weren't family, you'd never visit them. And then when you leave, it takes you, a few hours, maybe a couple days to get back to that feeling good again, right? Because if somebody's vibrating at a lower level and you're vibrating up here, you want to meet them halfway. Hey, and it's a lot harder to climb up than fall down. And
and people, I have a sense anyways, when you're with somebody, there's just the vibe, that's where that word comes from. What's the vibe? Sometimes you're with someone and the vibe is so antithetical to what you want to be experiencing that if you're paying attention to your intuition, you probably want to leave the room. But so many people I find they lack the discretion, or they can't. They're ignoring their feelings about it.
It's self-value. Did you know that?
Self-value?
It's all based on self-value. If you are only worth $1.95, that's $1. Okay? Then you are going to put up with a lot of BS. Okay? You know what?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Come on. How many people have belief systems that it's all about the struggle?
The struggle.
Bullshit. It's not about the struggle. I'm not struggling for nothing. I'm going to find my passion and my purpose. And will I pour everything into it? Will at the end of the day, will I feel tired? Yeah, but I'll feel tired and satisfied. Not to be tired and unsatisfied is a disease.
You mentioned about the unconscious or whatever.
The subconscious.
Subconscious, okay.
The unconscious is the majority. The subconscious, everyone has one.
Okay. And how many people, and I'm one of them,
What?
You notice patterns in your life. You notice the same kind of people returning into your
Why do I
experience.
keep going out with the same guy?
Right? So it makes sense that this subconscious is something that we need to gain control over.
It's not something, it's everything. Watch how you speak, Hugh.
All right. Okay.
I have my listeners here. You could have contaminated them.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
But I mean, for a lot of people, because you got your listeners, I got my viewers, and a lot of them may not quite get what you're saying here, or maybe they're struggling to just make their life better and they don't know how. And you're saying subconscious is everything. So what can people do?
The subconscious runs all the programs. Can I put it in a nutshell for you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you own a computer?
I got one right here.
When you bought the computer, what could it do?
Not much, except open up Windows and start spying on me.
Yeah, but your computer did nothing until you put a what in it?
An operating system.
A program. A program.
Okay.
So your computer does nothing until you put programs in it. Now, what if you put a bunch of programs in it that were conflicted, contaminated, corrupted? How would the computer work?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Okay, so that's why people are struggling. That's why people are suffering. They're not suffering because they're sinners. They're not suffering because they're failures. They're suffering because they have corrupted programs in their subconscious. Nothing more than that. They can feel like a loser. They can feel like, oh, God deserted me, or I was born with not enough brain cells, or I don't have an immune system. That is all BS. Because it's the programs that were put into them. And God love our parents, okay? But I was an adulterated parent, just like my parents were and those parents were. And the reality is this. Think about this. How many parents became parents and they didn't know how to feed themselves, love themselves, less feed another human being and love another human being?
Probably an awful lot.
So understand this. You know, your day is only your day because of the programs you run. Okay, so if somebody has thoughts of abundance, what should their life usually look like?
It should be abundant.
Okay, and if somebody has thoughts that they have an incurable disease, then what does their life look like?
They'll be sick.
If somebody has poverty consciousness, what will their life look like?
Poor.
Okay, so 99 out of 100 people have poverty consciousness. It's very hard to talk to people when it comes to spending money on themselves or taking enough time for themselves. Nobody has any time, nobody has enough money until they become an emergency 911. When they become emergency 911, all of a sudden there's all this money. And there always seems to be enough money for beer and wine, okay, and hitting the cannabis store, okay, and buying stupid crap, and your house is so full of stuff, and your mind is so full of crap too. But you're not crap. We were taught crap. It was force fed. Okay, remember something. From 0 to 7, you have no filter. From 0 to 7, whatever happens in your life is the God's truth and the way that life is. So then, from 0 to 7, people are operating from their 0 to 7, okay, even if they're 70 still. And they think that that's their personality, and it's not. Their personality was just created by the few dominant, prominent people that were in their life. And how many people in your life would you say are really harmoniously balanced and just love their life? And no matter what goes on in the world, they wear a slight smile, they're connected to their breath, and they focus on their passion, their purpose, and they don't get distracted.
Yeah, not that many. I wish I was like that more than I am now.
I am.
Fabulous.
I can say here, and that's not me with an ego, because I don't believe that the ego exists. I just believe that there's belief systems. You know, it's like people say that little girl over there is shy. No, she's not. She lacks confidence. Okay, that teenager there, she just snubbed me. No, she didn't. She's just overshooting her mark because she's lacking confidence too. We like to label people, just like we like to go to war with people. Have different religions, different colors, you know, different habits. You know, these guys are so smart. I mean, there might be 150,000, 250,000 of these psychos, okay? But there's almost 8 billion of us, and we can't get our act together to come together and work together. Seriously.
Well, so far that's absolutely true, but we need to do something about that.
What are you going to do about it? See, the reality is that everybody wants change. Everybody is very hopeful, and I don't believe in hope. Okay, hope don't float for me. You know, it's massive personal action, and it's going in and reprogramming your subconscious so that you can become conscious enough, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You can only make changes if you're present.
Okay. So we need to be present. So see, this is what I mean. You teach people how to do this. Is that right? Is that what you're doing in Toronto now?
Toronto, I'm doing some professional training for some professionals, and then I go to Barrie, Ontario, and then I think in about 10 days I start a whole life coach certification course, and then we do a Wolf non-surgical bodywork course, and then we do a women's course that's 3 days, pelvic restoration course for women, because I don't know if you know this, but most women's pelvises are rotting out. Okay.
Sounds like we need to do something about that.
Well, it's true. I mean, you know, 49% of all women are dripping urine throughout the day, and that's because of that. And yeah, but you know, it's like this, the majority rules, right? So you get used to things. If you could go back 100 years, right? Well, here, let me give you one example. In 1962, Nixon declared war on cancer, and only 2 people out of 100 had cancer back then. Now, 55% of the population is going to go to battle with cancer to try to save their life, okay, in their lifetime. So his war on cancer actually created cancer, because whatever you think about the most, you get. And that's the way it's always going to be. We already talked about that, you know? Okay, why does somebody live in a little hovel and somebody lives in a mansion? Well, because they have programs that will allow that to happen. Your thoughts create everything, right? But first we have an image, then we have a thought, then that thought creates an emotion. Is it positive, negative? Then that emotion creates a frequency. Is it positive or negative? If it's positive, it's going to dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, which is the love drugs. Or it's going to dump HAC, which is histamine, adrenaline, cortisol, which is 99.9% of the population, and that's what they're doing, because every disease starts in the subconscious. Did you know that? Every disease and all healing starts in the subconscious. Everything is in the subconscious. Okay, your subconscious brain runs your heart, and it doesn't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. Your heart just pumps, right?
I hope so, yeah.
And you run the programs without thinking about them. But what if you started thinking about the programs that you were running? And what if you actually said, well, I'm going to start observing myself, not judging myself. I'm not going to judge anybody else or observe anybody else for the next 3 months. I'm only going to observe myself. What if you just observed yourself and nothing else and how you react?
Yeah. Because, you know, people, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, right? Sometimes we get into situations and we act a certain way, or we react to the situation, and we go, why did I do that?
But but the better question is, why are you continually doing it? Why do you react the same way with that person and you always leave frustrated or upset with them?
And why does that pattern persist?
Well, because you're unconscious about your subconscious thoughts. And you're not observing yourself and going, I need to go in, erase, and replace. I need to change my personality. If you're not willing to change your personality, you're not going to change your reality. So stop complaining, stop explaining, and stop making your wife, your children, the world responsible for your joy. You are the joy toy. Or you're not.
Okay. That's great. So I'm looking at the clock here. We're almost halfway through, Daryl. Almost halfway through the show. So I'm hoping that we can give the audience something that they can take away by the end of this, that they can apply, and they can make their life better. So
well,
we can do that.
You want to do that right now?
Well, why don't we just do our little commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll give everybody that information, or we'll help. We'll try to convey that to everybody.
We won't try, we will do.
Right. See? It's all about how you say things.
All right.
Okay, we'll be back in a couple of minutes with Dr. Daryl Wolf as 600 Club continues here on CareVision and thatchannel.com.
Today I'm sharing a recipe that was shared.
Okay, this is a 2-minute break. And then where do you want to go for the next...
Well, first of all, tips are really nice, but they don't work.
Okay.
You have to dedicate yourself.
Right.
And the reality is you got to go deep. You know, if you want to become really good at something, what do you have to do? You have to be focused. And you can't allow anything to distract your attention. You have to become important enough that you're spending more time doing that than you did yesterday. And you got to do something different.
Right.
And then I'll talk about what we offer if you want. And then I'll talk about free things that they can get if they want. Trainings. How's that?
Yeah. I guess the website's running up there. During the show, put that back.
Yeah, I wanted to give, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I've been in the tech industry for 30 years.
So where are you living these days, or should we talk about that on the show?
Sure, I'd like to. I think it'd be fun.
Okay.
We can start with that, and then we'll go into the to the not self-help, but the self-love, self-care.
Okay, great.
Self-help sucks.
So
people don't need help. They need love and care for themselves. That's what they need.
now, so this will be our last commercial break, and then at 11 or at 12:59, like I'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
A minute before that, and then we got to run our ending credits. So.
That's good. Do you live near here?
No, it's over an hour commute for me to get here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I live downtown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see why now. I see why you're going, yeah, I wish I was downtown.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this place is a miracle, as it is. I mean, that's a long story, too. But anyways, we'll talk after the show. We'll get into all that kind of stuff. Are we having fun, guys?
Yeah, we're having a party. I'm sure everybody loves the wrestling.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic.
You are watching Carrot Vision.
All right, we're back here with Dr. Daryl Wolf, and we still haven't answered that question about where you are these days. And let me just open that by saying the last time we really were talking was when the government of Canada said you can't leave the country unless you got a vaccine passport or something like that. And you had sort of escaped the country before that, and I was very pleased that you had, and I almost came down. You were down in Mexico, and I thought, because I was it's like it's like, what kind of country do we have? Telling people they can't even leave the country. It was disgusting, and you made it out, and I was so glad for you.
They're going to do it again, and then the majority are going to do it again.
Well, that's what I sense, is that this is all going to happen again. And I'm talking to people, and people think, oh no, the pandemic is over, that's blah blah blah.
Well, we're working on a new video. Like we've got one video called Milk the Monkey, and that was when they came out with the monkeypox, right? But
Right.
They came out with the monkeypox after I did Milk the Monkey, so it was kind of weird. And then I have another one, Where's the Love, that we did. We're working on one right now that you know that song Bird's the Word. It's what was that?
I have a story about that song, but I don't know if I'll tell you quickly. My friend was playing it really loud and blew my speakers in the studio. Cost me $200 because a bird is the word.
And guess what? We're doing one that's I'm doing one that's Bird's Word, because I think it'll be the next one will be like some bird flu, right? So we're doing that one because you know what? You have a choice in life. Either cry or maybe joke out of it, because it deserves that. Lori, can you stop that? Like, stop that person from on the other phone. Yeah,
It's live TV, folks.
You gotta hit the button right.
There we go. Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, we're doing another one of that. We did one called Milk the Monkey. What was the other one we did, honey, again? Crack the coconut. Crack the coconut. That's all about the subconscious. You got to crack the coconut. This thing is as hard as a coconut, but if you can crack it open and you'll drink the milk of loving yourself and caring for yourself, you just won life. You won it. But you know what? With you, Hugh, like, I'm very intuitive. You would buy into this, but there's a part of you that would believe that if you totally loved and cared for yourself, you might forget about your family and then come across as selfish.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, there's no maybe. I'm really good at this. Since I was 12 years old, I've been doing this. So. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
We'll talk after the show because you need help.
I admit that. I fully admit that. I'm open to all kinds of things that are going to make my life better, and I hope people watching this are too.
Oh, so the question is, where do I live?
Yeah, where do you live these days?
Okay, so anyways, we had a 20-room clinic in Mexico,
Yeah, that was fascinating.
Yeah, people thought we ran away from it. We didn't. We actually closed it because we either going to have a huge clinic like that, and the problem is with that clinic is we're getting everybody and all kinds of people, weren't we, Lori? Yeah. Alcoholics, drug addicts, people that really wanted to get well. And the problem is please don't get me wrong when I say this. This is not about being selfish, but the reality is what we want to do is reopen the clinic and open up a clinic that we are dealing with people that want to take massive personal action, and they want to come and be trained and crack the coconut open, reprogram themselves and become see, it's like this, okay? you go from a patient to a healer, healing yourself. From that, you go to a practitioner, and then you become your own doctor. Now, what if everybody did that? Well, we'd have our world back. That's it. So the reality is let's stop treating people because we're mistreating them. And the reality is that my courses, they've been approved. And right now, people can come through my courses. They can get a doctorate, okay, in Indigenous medicine, okay? They can get a doctorate in natural medicine. They can get a doctorate in biophysics. This is through us now. So we are a school of higher learning university. So the reality is the other thing is that what we believe in is that people do not know how to love themselves. They don't know how to feed themselves. And when you get out of school, you don't know anything about finances. And I've got the greatest financial course that's so easy to take that anybody could take it. And it's not, and what is this? The big thing is you work for your money, and it's your money, and they're stealing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and guess what? So anyways, I work with a Dr. Ben, and he's a statesman out of Puerto Rico. He's one of 8 people in the world. And you do know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States, right?
Yes, I've heard that. No,
Okay.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay. So you do know that Puerto Rico is the only place where you can buy a corporation. It's not an offshore corporation, and you can buy one corporation, okay, and never pay more than 4% tax again for the rest of your life. And you could live in China, Australia, or anywhere around the world. And guess what? Guess what? Here's the deal. I don't care how many people see this, what government agency. They can't do anything to us because this is the exact corporation that the elites use.
Okay.
So when you see the elites, when you see them giving away like $100,000, well, they have to give away 4%. So then they always stay in the jurisdiction. So all we've done is we've got somebody that actually we're creating an office for our people. And what we're about is BraveHeart Nation. That's what we call ourselves, BraveHeartNation.com, is that people need to be abundant on all levels. Abundant with loving and caring for themselves. Okay? They don't need to make more money. They just need to keep the money they made. And the government can't take it anymore. And who cares? The government just wastes it anyways. They don't do anything with it. If they did something with it, I could see it. You know.
Oh, they're going to spend it on a war, maybe in Ukraine.
So the reality is that we have brought in countless people, and we're bringing in our patients, our clients, our practitioners. And you know, the biggest thing about practitioners is people don't get this. Like people say to me, "Well, Dr. Wolf, how can I come and take your courses? I didn't even finish high school." And I go, "You need passion, you need purpose. And if you can learn how to love yourself and care for yourself, why can't you do that for others?" And the doctors that are out there aren't even doctors. That means teacher. And they don't even teach health. They don't have nothing to do with health. So the reality is people will say to me, like I'll be on a show and people will go, "He's not a real doctor." Well, no, I'm not a real boy either. The reality is that we need to wake up the masses. We need to wake up people to let them understand that, you know, if you've always wanted to be a practitioner, if you ever wanted to be a doctorate of natural medicine or get your doctorate in Indigenous medicine, you know, you can do it. You know, the government likes to make you think, okay, like as soon as you see somebody with a white coat on, okay, and their name is doctor, right away, you know, your mind actually shuts down and they could say the most stupidest thing to you and you'll follow their instructions. So that's been brainwashed into us since the beginning of time. So the reality is where do we live? We don't know. We're on a world tour right now. So I'm going to be I'm doing a full New World Practitioner training, the whole life coach certification, which is 9 days. There's still room if people want to come and crack their coconut and change their life forever. By the 3rd day, you know, Hugh, I'll tell you something right now. If you want to take a few days and come to my course, I'll give it to you for free because of all the gift that you give the world. And I mean it. And it's just in Barrie. You should come and take my course. A whole life coach course. You come for 4 days, take a day off, come for 4 more days, okay? And it's recognized under the World Organization of Natural Medicine. You'll be certified. And when you leave there, you're going to know what you need to know all about nutraceuticals, all about proper exercise, but you're going to leave there knowing that you're not going to go to hell, and that you're going to be giving the gift of a lifetime to your family by loving and caring for yourself for the first time in your life, and really standing in your power and not being distracted from that again. Because you can't give what you're not. You can only give what you are. So that whole life coach certification, if people want to look at it, it's at braveheartnation.com. It's 9 days. And then after that, there's a day off. And then we do what's called Wolf Non-Surgical. How many practitioners do you go to that give you a money-back guarantee that their body work is going to help reverse your situation, and it's going to be, the first treatment's going to be more powerful than all the other treatments put together?
Not very many, but I mean...
Every practitioner that we've taught, and we've taught thousands, okay? And we have taught thousands, eh, honey? Mm-hmm. Yep. We taught over 500 last year. All right? So we're serious about this. And these are, a lot of them, you know, when you take our course, our New World Practitioner course, which is our whole life coach, and the Wolf Non-Surgical, 3 times you become a master practitioner. And then you can work towards getting your doctorate. And this is real doctors, people. Okay, people that teach people how to love and care for themselves are real doctors. You can put that, you know, don't come to me with your medical doctor crap. And I mean crap. Okay, if you want to take drugs, you take drugs. Okay, if you want surgery, go get surgery. You want chemo, go get it. Radiation, go get it. It's your body, it's your life. But real doctors are teachers, and real doctors train people. They don't treat them, because if you treat someone, you're mistreating them. Because we need to have people to understand that they can look after themselves. They can love themselves. So the reality is we have all our stuff stored in 3 containers. Mm-hmm. And right now we are going to be doing a full New World Practitioner course in Barrie. Then we go to Calgary, Ontario, do the same thing. Then we're going to Australia. Whoa. And we're doing there. We're there. And then we go to Bonita, Florida. But we have been traveling now for what, 7 months, eh, honey? Yeah. 7 months, and we're going to be traveling for another 3. And by the time this 3.5 months, by the time that's over, I'll tell you where we're going to live. Right now, it could be Puerto Rico, or it could be Mexico, or it could be Florida, and we haven't really decided. And the thing is think about this: we don't have a home, and we haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, you understand something. You know what? I'm going to tell you this. Peace is in the subconscious. And there's people that have a home, and they do the same routine every day, and they have no peace.
Also, just, you know, for people that I notice when I go on vacation, that week lasts, it seems like it's a month or longer, but at home, that week just goes by, and now it's the next week, and you're
because you're back into robotic routine. What if you could take a course? What if you could take a course that had you living in the present moment, connected to your breath, and you wore a slight smile, even if somebody calls up and said, Aunt Martha just passed away, and you kept that slight smile?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I would love that.
Well, guess what? You're programmed to suffer.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. So that's what we're here. That's what. So people can. Well, anyway, the Barrie thing sounds great.
Well, Barrie, I'm going to be doing free lectures there as well. If they go to braveheartnation.com, they can drive there and they can come to a free lecture. Okay, and just know this: I put all my lectures online. I don't hide anything. You know, I do consultations online too. Like I'll be doing one on a lady that had a concussion. I've got another one coming up with a lady who's got stage 4 breast inflammation, which they call cancer. All right, but I would never call cancer. It's stage 4 inflammation. They call it cancer because as soon as they do that, then you think you've got a death sentence, right? Because words hold power.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts create everything, which creates programs, and we all run programs. I run a program, but it's based on unconditional love and care for myself, living in the present moment. And if you say something to me that's totally asinine, I am not going to agree with it.
So let me ask you about this, because the program is called non-surgical, or it's got non-surgical.
It's Wolf Non-Surgical because we give you a money-back guarantee that even if you're booked to go in for spinal surgery, hip surgery, knee surgery, I'm going to give you your money back if you go to surgery.
So that would include even things like hip replacements.
Oh,
and
please,
all that
please,
stuff.
please. There's the hip replacement, my butt. But why don't you just go back 20 years, there was no hip replacements. There's hip replacements because everybody's pooping in their pelvis. Because everybody has autoimmune disease. Their large intestine has become a screen door, like in a submarine. Because guess what? Do you eat animal products? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Are they all free range and organic?
Probably not all.
Okay, 80% of all antibiotics go into animal products. So if you eat animal products or drink milk every day, you have taken a full 1 week dose of antibiotics every month. So now, antibiotics, what they do is they go in and they destroy the good and the bad bacteria, and they turn the yeast into fungus in your large intestine, which then becomes a drill bit predator that drills holes through your large intestine. Now you're pooping in your pelvis. It's called a pelvic bowl. Your pelvic bowl fills up with infection. Infection turns into inflammation, scar tissue formation, infection, cysts, endometriosis, fibroids, tumors, bladder infections, prostate problems, inflammation, and then guess what? The bowl fills up, and then the inflammation, infection goes out to the hips. Then when the hips become inflamed, the beautiful connective scar tissue and the cartilage and the ligaments and the tendons all become beef jerky, because inflammation, inflame, it's like putting your meat, okay, which is meat, on the barbecue and letting it have a slow burn. It dehydrates. And then what happens is, because of the inflammation, you pull the calcium out of the bones to buffer it down so you don't have mutation, so you don't have cancer. So now you calcify the hip, and you've got scar tissue and calcification in there, and we'll reverse that in 3 to 6 weeks. Okay.
That's amazing. And now, I mean, you mentioned the antibiotics that they're putting into the animal products.
Antibiotics are a form of chemo.
Yeah, and not to mention what they're doing to create new kind of bacteria.
Yeah, I know, but how do you go after the human beings?
Go after the food.
You contaminate their food.
Yeah, and which is what I wanted to get to. You talk about the antibiotics, but now they're talking about they want to inject all the animals with the vaccine for the whatever it is that they're making up next.
Yeah, but what about the appeal? APEEL. You know about that one?
No, but I
okay,
want to know.
So you know Billy?
I know some Billies.
Yeah, you know the Billy that everyone loves so much?
Oh, that one.
Okay, so that Billy, okay, so what he's done is he's taken GMO vegetable oil, and he's putting it on all organic food he can get his hands on. And because it's a vegetable oil, it's still considered organic. And they have to put a sticker there. It's APEEL, appeal. And you can't soak that off. It won't come off once it's on that organic fruit or vegetable. So if you've got that sticker on there, that's GMO.
And so what is his intent by doing that? Besides contaminating the food, but I mean, how is that going to affect people?
Well, what it does, it goes in and it actually causes pinholes in your large intestine. It causes leaky brain, and it causes leaky gut. Now, you ever have this one? Oh, I went to the doctor and he said I got leaky gut. Well, what's leaky gut? That's leaky large intestine. The only thing that leaks is your large intestine. And understand, 85% of your immune system lives where? Your large intestine. It's your good bacteria.
Right.
Your good bacteria, which they're trying to destroy, is your immune system.
Yeah.
These guys are not good. They're not good guys. Okay? And the medical doctors, listen, they all have hearts, they all have families, but they're the most programmed people on the planet. Between government agents and medical doctors, doctors are the third leading cause of death in North America.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that.
Well, it's the truth.
I know.
It's in the American Medical Manual.
Well, look what happened to the doctors that actually were trying to help their patients through this COVID thing. If their patients were experiencing negative symptoms because of the vaccine and they tried to do something about it, they would get decertified by whatever governing board they were
These
subject
medical doctors need to stop being medical doctors. These medical doctors just think if they took their learning, their teaching, and their power that they have over the masses, and then took my courses and then amalgamated this. They, you know, I'll tell you right now, I have people that are taking my courses, and they're making more money than a GP. And you need to, they are. I'm telling you the God's truth. You know, people are waking up, okay? And when people hear that, you know, they can go to a practitioner who's going to give them a money-back guarantee, people don't go there to go and take the therapy and then go, oh, well, it helped me, but I still want my money back. People, the majority of the population, okay, like almost everybody has integrity. And I love this part. You know what? Human beings are not polluting the planet. Human beings have had their subconscious polluted. Do you understand? Human beings are good. They're good. They're spirit beings. They were created by God. And the reality is they have dysfunctional programs. That's it. And these dysfunctional programs come from the same people that talk about climate change and about 15-minute cities. And you know what? And the problem is here, God love everyone, but everybody eats like crap. They feel like crap. Okay? You do know that 80% of the population is now overweight. And they're not overweight, they're obese. And they're obese because they're infected because of the food they eat, and then they get inflamed, so then they got to make fat. And the more fat you have, the more you are toxic here, and the more you eat instead of nourishing.
Well, it's like, you know, I try to eat healthy, and a lot of people do, you know, as they become aware of it. But now that we hear about this stuff, like what Bill is doing with the vegetable oil on the organic produce, I mean, it's almost like, how are we going to even get clean food?
Well, people should take a look at Jim Gale, and you need to turn your lawn into a perennial garden. Yeah, but it's hard to do that when you have winter.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but the world's big enough. We can all move somewhere where we have summer all the time. You know, in Mexico, you know, there's no shortage of organic food, eh, Lori? There's no GMOs down there, hardly at all. We never saw any chemtrails except for 2 days during Christmas. Yeah. That was it.
Really?
Yeah. So understand, you know what? I would never live in a third world country. No, wouldn't want to do that, because that's where you can live the best life. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's live in a civilized place like Toronto.
Yeah. Well, that message is starting to, a lot of people are starting to wake up from that. A lot of people said, okay, we got to get out of the city and try to set up it. But it's like, I mean, and Toronto's got like almost the best climate of all of Canada. But it's still like, we got 6 months of winter here. And I've had friends that tried to live out the country on a farm. And they came back to the city because getting through that winter is just so difficult.
Okay. The reality is this, okay? Move. I just told you. Go somewhere where it's sunny and you can grow 12 months of the year.
Yeah.
Go. You know, these places that are sunny, they have fresh water, they have fresh food, they have the ocean, which you're getting all the iodine, you're getting the sun you need, so there's no lack of vitamin D. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right?
Yeah.
You know, you choose to live here. Well, I would go if it wasn't for my family. You know, people are fearful. They're just here because they're fearful. And you know what? And because you're programmed. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah.
Okay? Are people programmed, Hugh?
Yes, people are programmed.
Anyways, everybody, Hugh wants me to give you some tips. Here's one. This is called a BraveHeart Love Band. It's simple. Believe it or not, if you were to snap this band, okay, and you were to do this, okay, let's say even 10 times to 20 times an hour, and you did that for 30 days, this is called 3, 2, 1, I got this. BraveHeart, 3, 2, 1, I got this. When I go like this, that's me kissing myself, because that's going to be illegal pretty soon. And but if I do this, I'm snapping myself back to the present moment. What if you could be in the present moment and go, no, that's not me. Okay, I love and approve of myself. No, I'm not eating that. I'm not drinking that. No, I'm not going to go visit her because I feel guilty. I'm not going to do this. No, nobody rules me. Okay, there's a new sheriff in town. So this is called a love band. Snug as a hug, kissing myself, and understand something. you better start kissing yourself. You better start loving yourself. And if you did that, okay, the predators wouldn't come after you. Remember something. The world is full of victims. All I have to do, I can talk to somebody, I can get online here and be going, yeah, love and care. And if you really went back and watched the video and analyzed it, I didn't say anything wrong to anyone, but I'll have people on there swearing at me, right? Because guess what? They don't stay in the present moment and find out that I'm just trying to say, could you just love and care for yourself? Because then you would be able to shine that light on your family. Remember something. Every family has so much dysfunction in it now, okay? And the reality is they want to contaminate our subconscious. Remember something. All destruction, all bad behavior is coming from the subconscious, and it's the people that watch the TV, read the newspapers. I mean, if I were to watch the TV, what most people watch and read the newspapers, I would be have so much anxiety, and then we'd have what we call depression that doesn't exist because it's just the brain shutting down, because it's overheating, because you can't have all that negativity without doing brain damage. So then you go into depression, which doesn't exist. It's just the computer shutting down. It's a computer. So now you get diagnosed with depression, and guess what? You do know that they came out. Did you hear about the big study that the FDA did?
No.
Okay. And they did a huge study, and it came out about 4 months ago. And they came out and said the only side effect of taking antidepressant meds are suicide. So now what all doctors have to do when they prescribe these is call up a week later and say, have you had any thoughts of killing yourself? And that's all they have to do to get off the hook.
Wow, that sounds like good medicine.
Yeah. So the other things that people can do is I do have the biggest self-love, self-care library. And if you want to go in and learn more than the practitioner that you actually go to, okay, it's all laid out simple. Go to my library go to docofdetox.com and click on library, okay? And then and if you don't believe me, go in there and watch the emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing, the biggest cancer study ever done. You'll find out how cancer starts and how they suppress this. Go in and watch how to become number one at the art of number two, because you're pooping in your pelvis. I don't care what your problem is, you are. And how about going and watching The Highway to Health, and for the first time have somebody explain what your digestive tract is and what it really does and what's going on, okay? And then watch Holy Crap, the Holy Grail, and find out why the large intestine is 85% of your immune system. There's a lot of other great things in there, like I Am Woman. Find out how I talk about this. You do understand that, remember Women's Lib?
Yes.
Well, that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And that was because we were telling, go to BraveHeartNation.com, take a look at my courses, Whole Life Coach, Wolf Non-Surgical, and we do another course for women. It's only a 3-day one. It'll be in Barrie, it'll be in Calgary, it'll be in Australia, and we do this wherever we go. It's a 3-day course on how to master their pelvis. We have what's called vaginal infusion. Did you know that a woman absorbs their nutrition 500% better through their vagina than their mouth?
Well,
Bet you didn't know that, did you?
Picture.
Okay, I know, but it's called vaginal infusion. If you women want to heal your pelvis and not have any pain down there, I mean, that's the holy grail for a woman, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I could just say this, everyone, you can go into my library as well, and you can check it out, and you'll see there's 2 courses there. One's called A to Z, if you want to learn about the human body and why you're a scar tissue issue, and why old age is just scar tissue and displaced calcium. And if you want to learn about the mind, you can take a masterclass called the BraveHeart Online Emotional Intelligence, and that's a 33-day course. All right? And I'm going to say one last thing. Hugh, I want you to go do this, and I challenge everybody on here. Go find a clinic, a school that will charge you $150 for a consultation, give you a 400-page do-it-yourself manual that will tell you every symptom, where it came from emotionally, and how to go in there and take massive personal action and turn your problem around. Okay?
Okay, fantastic, Dr. Daryl Wolf. Great to have you on the show today. We're out of time. I
We're out
knew
of
this would
time.
happen. So thank you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for more right here on CareVisionTV.channel.com. Check out those websites, docofdetox.com, BraveHeartNation.com.
Hey, gotta end here.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a beautiful day.